It was always false.
Boom! How's it going, comrades? This is Wes, aka the Performance here with another reaction, guys. We're finally back at it with Echidnut's What If videos. I know you guys were telling me that Pride was okay to check out, and I think you guys told me that Pride should be the next one to check out. And I think a lot of you were pretty hyped for it. So, and I'm actually really hyped for it too. I'm curious. Like, I think though Echidna he did spoil like a little bit of it in his last video. I think he was saying something about Subaru being a king or something, the forever king, or I can't remember what he said. I'm actually glad I don't remember what he said. He said it's something king, and I'm not sure if that was in this story or it was in another what if story. So I don't know, but I think this one's gonna be a real good one. So you know what, guys? I'm not putting off any longer. Without further to do, let's get into this. Ayamatsu Pride What If. And by the way, guys, subscribe to Echidna's channel if you haven't already. If you have not already.
Throughout the story of ReZero, Subaru repeatedly faces ideological conflict that shapes him into the character he will eventually become. Many of these moments act as a test for Subaru where he must choose between the path of sin or the path of virtue. For example, in episode 18, when Subaru wanted to run away with Rem, he was being tempted by the path of sloth. Instead of facing the challenges presented before him, he was tempted to run away from them and leave all his problems behind.
What a video too. The funny thing is though, like,
luckily Subaru made the right choice in the end and instead chose the path of diligence. This story is packed with moments like this one where Subaru must choose between two paths, and thankfully he's made the right decision every time. However, every year on Subaru's birthday, the author releases a non-canonical story explaining what would have happened if Subaru made the wrong choice. This story is about Ayamatsu, or the Pride If story. Ayamatsu shows us what would have happened if Subaru chose pride over humility. This video does contain some Arc 5 spoilers, though I will give a warning in the video right before they pop up, so if you're an anime only and you want to watch the video up until that point, you should be safe to do so. Before I start this summary though, let's talk about where exactly Subaru faces this ideological conflict of pride versus humility. This conflict in particular isn't actually limited to a specific moment, but more so an attitude Subaru has to overcome. When Subaru first arrives in Lagunica, he's visibly prideful. He immediately assumes he's the Kirito of his own anime, you know, the overpowered isekai MC everyone dreams of being. He runs around like an idiot trying to cast magic spells, and he assumes that the alley thugs he runs into are just low-level NPCs that he can one-shot with his S-tier combat strength.
Nope.
He later ends up disappointed when he finds out he's just about as useless as he was in Japan, but like we saw, when Subaru realized he was powerless, he swallowed his pride and cried out for the guards when he needed help.
Oh, and that's right.
That's why he was able to survive. Reinhardt appeared and saved the day because Subaru was humble enough to admit to his own vulnerability. In Ayamatsu, this doesn't happen. Subaru doesn't call out for someone to save him. Even when faced with danger, Subaru's too prideful to ask for help, and that very pride is what ends up corrupting him, leading him down a much darker path. This is Ayamatsu, the Pride If story.
Interesting.
The story begins with a familiar scene. Elsa kills Subaru just like she did in the first episode. What's different is Subaru's reaction when he responds. Normally he'd be freaking out, right? Well, this time he calmly grabs a stick and starts drawing tally marks in the dirt. At this point, it becomes apparent that something went horribly wrong, causing Subaru to die over 80 times more than he was supposed to. 80? Stuck in a seemingly endless loop, Subaru started losing his mind. He's no longer the dorky main character we know and love. He's desperate, and he'll do anything he can to escape this loop. But everything he tries results in failure. It's not fair. No matter what he does, he can't defeat Elsa. His lack of power has been tormenting him and breaking his mind in the process. So once again, shortly after respawning, Subaru runs into the 3 alley thugs. They start harassing him, but he's no longer afraid of them, because after respawning countless times, Subaru eventually memorized each of their fighting patterns, giving him enough of an advantage to easily defeat them. But after knocking the 3 of them to the ground, instead of letting them escape, Subaru takes it way too far.
Oh, he kills them?
He strangles them to death and then stomps on each of their necks until he feels their bones break under his shoes. And after killing them, he loots their bodies and takes their weapons for himself. And because he's repeated this loop so many times, he was able to do all of that in under a minute. So yeah, it's pretty clear already that something's very, very wrong with Subaru.
Yo,
exiting the alleyway, Subaru runs into Amelia. She's currently chasing Felt, trying to get her insignia back.
Oh boy.
Subaru knows that Amelia will eventually die if he doesn't do something about it, so he vows to her, "No matter what, I will save you." He's also still calling her Satella, as he hasn't learned her real name yet. But yeah, Subaru still determines to save her, despite knowing he's failed to do so a total of 87 times. His 87 attempts to stop Elsa have resulted in 87 failures.
Well, I wonder why. Swallow your
Elsa
damn
was an
pride.
unbeatable opponent. He eventually realizes that no amount of trial and error could stop her, so he finally gives in and decides to ask the city guards for help, though at this point he's already a completely different person. Sitting on a rooftop, Subaru watches from above as Elsa slaughters the guards with ease, reaffirming Subaru's impression that Elsa is just invincible. But all of a sudden, Reinhardt shows up to save the day. This was actually the first time Subaru had ever seen Reinhardt. The Rein versus Elsa fight plays out pretty much the same as it did in the anime, except Reinhardt ends up destroying a section of the slums instead of the loot house. Meanwhile, Subaru just sits there watching in shock. After 87 loops of misery and failure, this red-haired knight randomly shows up and defeats Subaru's opponent effortlessly. I mean, come on, he didn't even unsheath his sword. Elsa was the seemingly unstoppable obstacle that Subaru couldn't overcome, and now suddenly she was dealt with. It didn't happen the way he expected it to, but the outcome was favorable for Subaru, so he gladly accepted it.
Alright.
But something changed. What Subaru does next is very odd and out of character. After Elsa escapes, Subaru gives the guards false information, misdirecting them elsewhere. He then finds Elsa severely wounded and offers to help her. He felt that she could prove useful to him in his ultimate goal of saving Amelia, so he tells her, "Look, I hate you, and one day I am going to kill you, but not now." Elsa then smiles and agrees to team up with Subaru, thus marking the end of his endless loop.
Yo, time out. He teamed up with Elsa? Yo, what is the Subaru? So that's definitely gonna come back to bite his ass in the belt. No, that's no. Oh no. Alright, so let's resume.
He then returns to the loot house to make sure, and to his surprise learns that Felt and Old Man Rom have been arrested for what they did to Amelia. Subaru then realizes that he's reached his goal. The mysterious silver-haired girl got her insignia back, and she's no longer in danger of being killed by Elsa, so now what? Without a goal in mind, Subaru isn't sure what to do next. Really, the only thing left on his mind was that girl with the silver hair. He had so many questions and so few answers. He even thought about killing himself and restarting just to get those answers, but he thought there might be an easier way.
Jeez.
Staring at the loot house, Subaru says out loud, "Why don't you guys teach me?" And then turns around to face the several silhouettes standing behind him. All of their eyes looked insane and dead, and Subaru suspected that if he had a mirror, his eyes would appear the same.
Oh, and that. I just saw the trailer for that Dragon Ball Super.
Real quick, for anyone that doesn't understand, what just happened was the witch cult had actually noticed Subaru's behavior and wanted to recruit him. So they showed up at the loot house to meet him, and Subaru notices that they're just as insane as he is, so he decides to join them. 2 months later, after receiving news of the royal selection, Subaru learns Amelia's real name. In the midst of his celebration, he's interrupted by Betelgeuse, who Subaru's been living with for the past 2 months. Betelgeuse is upset by Subaru's laziness, to which Subaru replies, "I'm just doing what the gospel tells me." Betelgeuse explains to Subaru that it's time for them to commence the ordeal and find out if Amelia is a suitable vessel to harbor the witch's soul. Subaru's eager to see Amelia again, so he agrees to participate, but then asks Betelgeuse if Amelia will die in this process, which Betelgeuse obviously confirms. This causes a dark smile to form on Subaru's face, and the scene transitions. 400 loops later, Subaru is standing with a sword plunged through Betelgeuse's heart. As he's dying, Subaru explains to him that it took a great amount of effort and planning to finally reach this outcome. He had to form a contract with a minor spirit so he couldn't be possessed, and he had to hire Elsa to murder all of the fingers. But because this took him so long to accomplish, Subaru actually ended up spending more time with Betelgeuse than any other character, to the point that he actually started to consider him a friend. But despite that, he couldn't allow anyone to harm Amelia, and that's exactly what he tells Betelgeuse, right before demolishing his best friend's brain with a sword.
400 loops?
Subaru then meets in private with Rosbal and lets the Amelia camp take the credit for killing Betelgeuse, which would increase Amelia's popularity and thus her likelihood of winning the royal selection. As Subaru's goal satisfies Rosbal's agenda as well, the two of them agree to continue working together. Subaru will do business in the shadows while Rosbal will handle the more public affairs. A couple days after the royal selection begins, history rewrites itself so that there were always 4 candidates rather than 5. The Krush camp on its own was no match for the White Whale, resulting in Krush's existence being erased from the memory of the world, leaving Subaru the only one left who can remember her. This actually starts to annoy Subaru. He'll bring up her name in a conversation by accident and people will give him weird looks and stuff, and it kind of causes some awkward situations. What I'm getting at here is Subaru doesn't care at all that Krush died. Her death to Subaru is nothing more of an example of what not to do. Actually, scratch that. Her death is an asset to Subaru. Trapped in a metal prison in the back of Subaru's cave, Felix sits alone muttering questions to himself like a broken doll. Subaru concludes that Krush must have been a major part of Felix's life. So when she got erased from history, Felix's mind couldn't account for everything and he went completely insane.
Oh, this is so messed up, dude.
But Felix could prove very useful to Subaru, so he wants to try and reprogram his mind, basically making him a slave. As Felix sits there crying and muttering to himself, Subaru leans in and says to him, "This time, I definitely won't let you kill yourself." This next transition is pretty graphic, but I think what Subaru does to Felix is without a doubt the most disturbing part of this chapter.
Spoiler alert and disturbing alert? What does he do to him? I'm kind of scared. I'm scared to continue, guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep going with it. I mean, it's a spoiler alert, but I mean, I'm hoping it's nothing too major spoilery. I mean, cause like I said, guys, I'm invested in this now. I gotta see how this ends. I want to know. So, all right, let's just go for it. You guys did tell me that even though there are somewhat spoilers in here, it's really just spoiling. The characters are being spoiled. I think you guys said the biggest one that has the biggest spoilers is, I think, greed. I think. Let's just go for it.
But anyway, guys, I'm pausing this summary real quick because this is the part where the anime onlys have to leave. Yep, thanks for coming, guys, but this is your stop. Beyond this point, there will be Arc 5 spoilers relating to the Regulus character. So I hope you anime onlys liked the video. Maybe next time you should read the web novel so you don't have to keep clicking away like this.
Wait, I'm sorry. Try to pause it again. The Regulus character. Regulus. I don't know who that is. Check it. Let's just continue.
Okay, the summary will resume now.
Alright.
After a fairly big time skip, we're now at a burning mansion with all its doors and windows boarded up. Inside the mansion, Regulus Corneus is running through the hallways in a panic,
this guy.
but he's not trying to escape as he hasn't even considered death a possibility. What he's actually doing is desperately searching for his wives so he can punish them for the fire. Little does he know, every single one of them has already been killed by the fire. As Regulus starts ranting about how selfish his wives are, Elsa bursts through the wall and kicks him across the hallway. When he gets back up and tries to attack her, she cuts off both his arms. She continues chopping away at his limbs until he's just a torso and a head, and then kicks him out of the boarded window and onto the ground where Subaru was waiting to greet him. Subaru explains to him that this mansion fire is the metaphorical divorce papers that his wives willingly agreed to present to him. As Regulus sits there in utter shock and disbelief that his wives would ever possibly betray him, Elsa returns to the scene and pokes one of her knives in his chest, holding him up like food on a stick. Subaru then orders her to place him in a weaker part of the fire so that the two of them can happily watch him burn to death. Yeah, I left out a lot of details there because that part was pretty graphic and kind of terrifying, but hey, at least they're only killing bad guys, right? Fast forward a bit and Julius is now dying on the floor of a bar after being betrayed by someone he trusted. Subaru starts delivering an arrogant monologue to Julius, but Julius doesn't really care about Subaru. Julius's eyes are focused on the person standing next to Subaru, the person Subaru ordered to kill him. Did I do well, Subaru-sama? Subaru gives Felix a head pat and praises him for killing Julius so obediently. The door opens and someone walks in with a mop.
Wait, time out.
Standing next to Subaru, the person Subaru ordered to kill him. Did I do well, Subaru-sama? Subaru gives Felix a head pat and praises him for killing Julius so obediently.
Why did he
The door
want
opens
him
and
to kill
someone
Julius?
walks in with a mop. It's then revealed that because Otto couldn't pay off his financial debts, he's now being forced to help Subaru clean up his messes. As time went on, Subaru amassed a group of accomplices who helped him achieve many of his goals. He eventually eliminated each one of the Sin Archbishops, passing along the credit of their defeat to the Emilia camp. But that still wasn't enough to win Emilia the throne. To guarantee her victory, Subaru would need to become the ultimate villain and then allow Emilia to defeat him, making her the ultimate hero. To accomplish this, Subaru would first need to eliminate every other villain to assure that he was the ultimate one. Then, he would need to eliminate every other hero to make sure that Emilia was the ultimate one. So Subaru continued down his path of murdering innocents and committing atrocities and slowly whittled away at the other candidates, the witch cult, and anything else that stood in Emilia's way. This continued until there was only one person remaining for Subaru to kill. Around him, buildings collapse, children and parents cry out for their families. All the while, the inferno grows larger and larger. Welcome to Subaru's newest save point. To get here, it took him over 10,000 loops.
Jeez.
Every horrible thing he did was necessary to bring him to this very point.
So he's at a checkpoint, basically.
Reinhardt had nothing to say to Subaru. Up until this point, Reinhardt had remained calm in every situation, no matter what he was faced with. But now, his eyes were glaring with hatred, an emotion Subaru didn't think he could possibly show. Subaru knows at this point that he can't kill Reinhardt, so the closest he can come is to kill his name and kill everything he stands for. Subaru mocks him, saying, "You're the Sword Saint, the Sword of the Kingdom. You're the knight who protects the kingdom of Lagunica, so tell me, did you even protect the kingdom at all?" As he says this, it becomes clear that the fire isn't just burning the capital. In fact, the entire territory of Lagunica is engulfed in flame.
Damn, Subaru?
Subaru explains to Reinhardt that he's tried to kill him tens, hundreds, and thousands of times. He's studied him, researched him, and tested every idea he could possibly think of. He's gone through every conceivable form of trial and error to kill Reinhardt.
Poison?
And nothing worked.
Oh,
He
really?
sacrificed Meili and Elsa, Roswell, Otto, the Witch Cult, the Archbishops, and he committed every conceivable crime in existence, but he still couldn't kill Reinhardt. So the only thing left in his power to do was to kill Reinhardt's name, kill everything he stands for as a hero. Because if a hero can't save anything, then they aren't a hero anymore. As Subaru explains this to him, Reinhardt appears visibly shaken. Subaru's voice starts trembling, laced with sobs. The last time Subaru shed tears was his very first day in this world. He never cried during any of his horrific acts, yet here he is, crying over Reinhardt's power of all things. Back then, Subaru was jealous of Reinhardt. After helplessly dying to Elsa 87 times in a row, Subaru watched as Reinhardt just showed up randomly and defeated her with one swing of his sword. Subaru aspired to have that power so much, he began to hate it. And now, Subaru will taste that power firsthand because Reinhardt is going to kill him. Reinhardt doesn't reach for his sword. Subaru's so weak that it wouldn't even be necessary. Reinhardt prepares to kill Subaru with his bare hands, or perhaps his foot would be more necessary. But before he can do so, Elsa, still alive, jumps out of nowhere and slashes her blade at Reinhardt, who blocks the attack with his hand, shattering the knife to pieces. Subaru was surprised Elsa was still alive, but there's no time to waste. While Reinhardt's preoccupied with Elsa, Subaru gets up and starts running down the hill. "That's enough," Subaru hears. "That's enough, villain." Subaru looks at the source of the voice and says her name, Amelia. He starts trying to talk to her, but Puck steps in, explaining that nothing he says should be taken seriously, but Subaru persists anyway. "Everything I'm about to tell you is a crazy person rambling," Subaru says as he unzips his tracksuit. Yes, this whole time, Subaru had kept his tracksuit sealed away for this very occasion. He wanted to wear it for his reunion with Amelia. Anyway, Subaru continues. "I'm the one who burnt down the country. Nobody could stop me from doing this. Not the guards, knights, nor the heroes. The Sword Saint hasn't stopped me, and the dragon hasn't either. I'm the one who brought the flames of demise that drove this nation to destruction,
and nobody
can stop me. Except for you.
Different from
Kill me, and you'll become the hero that saved the world. None of the other candidates could ever achieve anything to top this. Everything I did was to make you the ruler." Amelia blocks her ears, trying to keep Subaru's words out.
I don't want to
A
hear
tear falls down her cheek, and Subaru feels a shock in his chest. Seeing Amelia cry made Subaru feel guilty. But Subaru knew it would happen. From the very beginning, Subaru knew he would make Amelia cry. He knew his actions would make her cry, yet he did them anyway. "Watch me, Amelia. See me, detest me, and remember me," Subaru says as he starts laughing like a maniac. Amelia, her voice trembling, asks him, "Who are you? Who in the world are you?" Subaru slowly approaches her with his arms open wide. "My name is Natsuki Subaru." Natsuki Subaru. Amelia starts repeating his name, but Subaru wasn't finished with his sentence yet. "Natsuki Subaru, Sin Archbishop of Pride," he says, and with that, he sprints as fast as he can towards Amelia, forcing her to shoot a spear of ice through his chest.
Damn. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, wait a minute. Because I remember back in season 1, back in season 1, that's what Betelgeuse referred to Subaru as. He was, I think he asked them, like, are you Pride? Or something like that, right? So he actually became a Sin Archbishop of Pride. Yo, man, Subaru was a crazy... Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like he's a really well-written villain, in my opinion. I like him as a villain. This is dope, guys. This is really dope. Like, I like the fact that he's doing all of this for Amelia, though. He's doing all of it for Amelia. But, I mean, I guess for himself, too. It's just crazy. Like, dude, I want to see this animated. Oh my, this would be amazing animated. Oh my gosh. So she kills
Staring
him.
down at Subaru's dying body, Amelia repeats the same question over and over.
Who are you?
Subaru, with his final breath, answers her, "I love you." Subaru once again returns to the dark world he goes every time he dies.
Right.
Usually he gets sent out of this place back into the world, but now something's different. This time, he's satisfied. He sacrificed everything, including himself, to give Amelia a better future. That was his goal, and he reached it. But there's another presence here with him. Someone else in this dark world greets him with a whisper. It was a comforting whisper with kindness and love in its voice.
So tell her.
He'd never seen this presence before, but it was oddly familiar. Subaru then accepts that his existence deviates from the spiral of death and welcomes the strange presence. The chapter ends with the words, "Even if you refuse me, I will never forget you." And that's how the Pride route ends. Subaru dies one final death after accomplishing his goal. He actually did it. He got the happy ending he was looking for. A good ending, you could say. Because he was satisfied with his life, Satella released her grasp on him, taking away his return by death and finally allowing him to rest for all of eternity.
That was her goal. She wants him to get to the perfect destiny, right? That was his perfect destiny in this regard.
So why did Subaru go crazy once again? Like I said in the beginning, all of this was the result of a very minor ideological mistake at the very start of the story. Instead of swallowing his pride and yelling for the guards in the alleyway, Subaru didn't want to admit he needed help, so he didn't get any. This caused him to die almost 100 times more than he was supposed to, which completely broke his mind in the process and caused him to hate Reinhardt for being so overpowered. Deep down, his ultimate goal of saving Emilia didn't change, but his methods of achieving it certainly did. In Ayamatsu, Subaru actually takes a more Roswell-esque approach to his philosophy on life. Like Roswell, Subaru values one thing and one thing only. He was willing to sacrifice everything else just to reach his idea of a perfect ending for Emilia. What's ironic is that Emilia never asked for any of this, nor was she happy with the actual result. The whole thing was all in Subaru's head, and it was his pride that kept him from giving Emilia what she truly wanted. Subaru forced his pride-influenced idea of a perfect ending on Emilia without any consideration as to what she wanted. He was pretending to be doing everything for Emilia, but in reality, it was for himself. And here's the crazy thing about it. Subaru understood that the entire time. He knew what he was doing was wrong, yet he did it anyway. Anyone that continues to do the wrong thing whilst knowing it's wrong must certainly be consumed by their own pride. But yeah, the whole concept of sacrificing everything for the one thing you care about probably played a pretty big role in Roswell's friendship with Subaru. It was also fascinating to see what happened to the other characters, even the minor ones. As a result of Subaru being selfish, the fate of everyone else was altered as well. Krusch and Wilhelm died, Old Man Rom and Felt got arrested, Otto became a debt slave, Felix became an actual slave, etc, etc. Overall, I'd say this is probably my third or fourth favorite If story, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. The others were just really good as well. I thought this was a very interesting story, and I'm really impressed by how realistic it was. To me, it doesn't feel like a spin-off or a fanfic or anything of the sort. It genuinely feels like the main story gone wrong. It seems very possible that this is how ReZero could have ended up had Subaru not passed the test of virtue. And that's what I like about these If stories. They provide us with a lot of details we wouldn't get otherwise, and they really expand on both the characters and the world. I think the most important detail from this story was that Subaru actually died. In this story, Satella released Subaru from the restrictions of return by death. I'd love to hear some speculation as to why that happened in the comments section. Did Satella really let him die because he was satisfied, or did she maybe just give up on him? Let me know what you guys think about that, as well as the story overall. What do you guys think about Evil Subaru? If you enjoyed this video, remember to drop a like and definitely subscribe if you like this kind of ReZero content. As always, I hope you've all been staying safe, and I hope you don't end up like Subaru did. That's all I got for you guys today. Keep talking about ReZero and don't let the hype die down. I'm out for now, guys. Peace out.
This was a good one. I love Villain Subaru. Yo, Villain Subaru. You know, his character reminds me of from the way Echidnut was representing him or describing him. He reminds me of Light Yagami from Death Note. You know, I don't know why I get like Light Yagami vibes just from hearing his descriptions of Villain Subaru or Pride Villain Subaru. You know, I mean, kind of, sort of. You know, minus the like 'cause Light wasn't really in love with anybody. You know, Subaru was in love with Echidna. I'm sorry, not Echidna, with Amelia, and wanted to do whatever it took to make her the perfect ruler, to make her, ruler. And because I mean, it's crazy. She did she did exactly what he wanted her to do. He confronted her, killed all the other heroes, killed all the other, and he basically metaphorically killed, I guess, Reinhardt, and then he killed any other villains that would get in her way. So that only he would be. He made himself the villain, her villain. That's nuts, bro. He went nuts. I do think the reason why he died, his final death, like I said earlier in the video, I think it comes down to, because I believe this was told to us in season 2, that's to tell us goal for Subaru is for him to achieve a perfect destiny. Now, see, to me though, I was always asking myself, what is that? What does that mean? What is the perfect destiny that she wants him to achieve? Like, is it like a certain thing that he has to get to, you know? Or is it like a perfect destiny as far as he's concerned? Like what Subaru wants, And I think that's what it is. Like, I was under the assumption that the perfect destiny that she wants him to get to is some kind of preordained thing that just that he has to get to, and that's what she wants him to get to, where everything's perfect. But I think what the perfect destiny is essentially what he himself wants. Like for instance, for now, like for current Subaru, I guess his perfect end would be, I guess having all of the wish cultists eliminated, and I guess him living happily ever after with Echidna, maybe. I don't know why I keep saying Echidna. With Amelia, maybe. That could be his perfect ending, his perfect destiny. And if he attains that and he dies, then that means he's gone for good. Well, this one, his long goal, his longer way to go. You know what, guys? I was just thinking for a second. Like, I'm trying to think. What is Subaru's long-term goal? You know what I mean? Like, I know what his goal is. We know what his goal is here in this whatever. What is his goal? His long-term goal in this anime? Like the current Subaru. I actually don't know. I mean, I know before, what he just wanted to protect them. I mean, I guess what is it to protect Amelia? But I mean, is there something specific in mind? I don't know. Like, I feel like in this, what if it was a lot more specific? His goal was to make Amelia. His goal was basically the same as Roswell's essentially, and I guess, when you think about it, he acted just like Roswell to get his goal achieved. It's funny, he never even made it to the sanctuary either. But yeah, I think that that the reason why he died his final death was because he him being killed by Emilio, she killed the villain. Everyone was gonna celebrate her. That was it. Like that was his perfect destiny. He was able to do all of that, and so he was able to finally die without having to return by death. At least I believe so. I guess let me know in the comments if I'm like if I'm in the ballpark or if I'm just way off. Let me know, guys. This was great, man. Seeing villain Subaru, not gonna lie, I definitely need to see. Like, is there a picture of how he looks as a villain? Like how he looks? Because I know, like I remember, and his other two, with us, he had like pictures of the characters from the from the book. But I guess he doesn't have any here because I didn't see how Subaru looked. Like, I would love to see how they made Subaru look. Unless did he just look the same? I guess maybe he just had like more of like a serious expression on his face, I guess, and his personality was way different, I guess. I'm assuming. Holy crap, yeah, guys, this was a really good one. All right, so the as for the next one I'm going to be doing. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna react to is Greed. Um, Apparently, I think Greed was actually the one I was supposed to react to next, actually. According to a comment here, shout out to Teresia Van Estrella. I see what you did there. Greed is supposed to be spoiler free. And an interesting thing that Teresa Van Estrella says is that Echidna was able to actually get the dub voice actors for Subaru and Echidna for his video. What? Are you for real? Like how? He was legit able to get them? There's no way. There's no way. That's crazy awesome. So that has me excited. So there was one though. What I think Gluttony was the one you guys told me to stay away from. Gluttony was the one that had major spoilers. I also see another comment of the list. Shout out to Makian. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. It looks like you're telling me so I did a list. So you're like pride, wrath, sloth, greed, and then gluttony. I would like to do greed. I really want to do greed because of what you said, but or what the other guy said, because of what Van Estrella says, because I definitely want to see that video. But I'm gonna go in order because I think this apparently you're saying this is in order of the arcs of like of the actual show. So I guess it's more comprehensive by watching it this way. So all right, so I just did Pride. So I guess the next one I'm gonna be doing, guys, is Wrath. But I think what I'll do is after this one, I'm gonna go ahead actually and do Wrath. I'm gonna do Wrath. I guess after Wrath, let me know which one you guys want me to do. I think maybe I'll do Greed. I guess does it have spoilers in it? I guess just let me know. But the next one I will be doing after this one will be Wrath, guys. So I cannot wait. But all right, guys, this was fantastic. I am so glad that you guys got me to react to his videos. I'm having a great time watching them. This is a ball. Like it's actually getting me even more hyped and excited for season 3 too, actually. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. This was great. I cannot wait till this next video. If y'all like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me a tremendous amount. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? I post Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. If you guys have any comments about this video or anything in particular that is non-spoilery, post them below. I love reading your guys' comments. Also, if you have any suggestions on what you would like to see me react to next, post those as well. And if something I have not seen, I will take a look at them. Till next video, guys, I'm seeing nothing but mad love. Stay awesome. Deuces.